Hey, what's up guys? Again, Drying here. And for today's video, I'll be doing a analyzing from the gameplay trailer of Payday 3 and pretty much shows off the weapons, equipment, the enemies, and other peaks of interest, as well as, well, also the price for the game and pretty much a little more info about it. So we have the view page on the PSN store. So it is definitely confirmed that the Payday 3 will be running on the for console wise, the current hardware being the PS5 and the Xbox Series X/S. So that means there's no PS4 or Xbox One version of Payday 3. So for those who are still playing on the PS4 and you want to play Payday 3, well, good luck on trying to get a PS5, get a hands on a PS5. But you literally have 3 months, so you should have plenty of time to get one just before Payday 3 hits in stores. So of course, like you can enable to pre-order it now, and you can see how much it is. Well, this is the gold edition, and this is in Canadian dollars, so your price may differ. Depends where you're located at. So it's a bit much, but we get a little bit more info about it, which I'll show on the next page. Which This is what you include with the Gold Edition. You get the main game and free pre-order bonuses being a mask, gloves, and a suit. So outfit customization will be returning. And you're able to play the game 3 days early, so instead of playing it on the 21st of September, now you can be able to play on 18th. So the leak was definitely right. It was definitely true. I did say on my RIP page if the release date may either be 18 or 21, so that's one of the ladders, and it's actually true. And then we have the Season Pass, which I know a lot of you guys despise Season Passes, despise Battle Passes. But the thing about the Season Pass is, honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, think about it. Would you rather buy each individual DLCs or go ahead buy like the Season Pass or the bundle that contains every DLC it has in a much smaller, and you save just quite a bit. Like, you save a little bit more money if you just buy the season pass instead of buying it individual, because you spend a lot more DLCs individual compared to a season pass. Which makes a lot of sense because Payday 2 was coughing a lot of DLCs, like maybe 30 plus DLCs, and they don't even have bundles at the time. When Payday 2 came out, it was just DLCs after DLCs after DLCs, and there was no sort of season pass or some sort of bundle you get. That only applied to the game's end of its DLC lifecycle. The only difference it was on console for Payday 2 is you do had bundles. You had the big score bundle, you had the most wanted bundle, and then you had the master plan bundle. But of course, all three of those has been merged into one, being the Crime Wave collection, and exact same applied to PC with the Legacy collection. And of course, and as for the other DLCs, beyond it, being the Slick Road, the City of Gold, and Texas Heat, well, they do have their own bundles as well. But that only happens when that campaign has ended. So the Texas Heat doesn't have its full bundle yet until they got one more highs, and they probably going to do a full bundle for it. But I highly doubt people are going to be interested in that, considering the state of PC Pay 2 is still currently. Hopefully they get that sorted out before Payday 3 launches. Alright, enough about the more info about Payday 3. Now let's get on to the trailer and see of anything else that really catches my eye. And another thing, I do apologize for how the quality of some of these shots are. After all, I took a screenshot from my phone. So, I'll do my best I can to cover up a little bit more. So we see here by the trailer, well, the very first shot from the trailer looks like it's a, well, pre-planning on the table, kind of like we saw in the Golden Grid Casino trailer, and then mostly we see three weapons. I see a MGO grenade launcher, a M4A1 assault rifle, and some sort of shotgun. And the other thing is, well, there's concussion grenades. So concussion grenades are returning. I'll get on the other weapons later on. The next shot is, well, I'm looking at is the throwing knife. So the throwables are returning, and I do know the grenades are returning as well. We see a lot of explosions going on, so frag grenades, concussion grenades, and throwing knives are returning. And that's really nice because the throwing knife was a paid throwable weapon. Now make it available at launch, so this is really great for people who want to maybe stealth early on and don't want to use the loud grenade. Alright, this next shot here is now we see a lot more unique mechanics to this game, and that is pretty much using a phone. Now to me, this reminds me quite a bit like Watch Dogs, where you use your phone to, destroy electronics or other shenanigans. Now we see this one actually use a phone on the camera here, and we definitely see a guard kind of standing right below it. So the next shot I have is what happens afterwards. So of course, it does. The civilian does get react to it, and it seems to also down the guard as well. Pretty interesting that you can use to destroy cameras. But I want to know how can that be so useful for stealth? Well, we'd have to find out and see. And then we got a proper look at the weapon, and in terms of the character holding, it looks like it's Wolf because I saw he had some of those, I don't know, some wire and some strap. I thought that was Dallas for a sec, but it's actually Wolf. And I notice you probably can't see well, but the pistol looks like either a Glock 17 or Glock 18 with some sort of barrel extension, and does have like a gadget underneath the pistol. And of course we got our nice look of our guard, and of course we have the ATMs, so it's probably nice that we can able to probably loot the ATMs again. I presume the saw probably will be returning, which I definitely would see it to come back. Now the next one here is actually Huxton. You can actually pick up a hostage, or at least in this case a guard, and you can actually move around with it, which is interesting. It would be kind of really neat to have if you want to do like a pacifist run, or you just don't want to waste a body bag. You can actually bring the guard and make him move to somewhere else. But I'm also looking at the pistol as well, because the next one is, the pistol looks like a P226, which I should probably say the weapon's in-game name from Payday 2. So the Glock 17 would be like the Shimano, and the P226 would be like the signature 40 pistol. But I also noticed some of it in the trailer, in the screenshot here, the civilian in the black suit that looks like he's running towards the player. Well, he's going to be running at the door, actually. He actually runs away. He actually flees, even though his hands are tied up by a cable tie. So I don't know what this means. Do you have to keep a natural check on the civilians, especially for stealth? Because this is going to be pretty insane. But I'm pretty sure how challenging it would be, without killing a single civilian, especially if they're moving around, even though they're tied up. So the next one here we have, it looks like our first look of our sentry gun. And this is a definitely quite a weird design. Now, to me, it looks like it borrows the P90 magazine, and it seemed to be, going. The bullets were actually going underneath the mag and pretty much shooting out the barrel. And pretty interesting they give it this type of height. Now I'm not sure you can able to upgrade it to to give it a little more height, or maybe you can lower it down. Pretty interesting play how it would work, especially with different cover and different objects you can actually place it. I'm pretty sure the turret fans will enjoy their new toy. The next screenshot here is, of course, the picture that the character actually gets when they get flashed. They actually have their hands up in the air, which kind of reminds me a lot from Black Ops 4, where if they get flashed, they use a lot with their left hand and almost make them inaccurate since firing from the hip is not very accurate compared to aiming down sights. But the weapon that the Heiser is holding is an MP7, or in an in-game name from Payday 2 is the Spec Ops submachine gun. And the one thing I noticed is the iron sights are different. And that's actually true on the MP7 because these are the rifle sights. Since the MP7 has actually two iron sights, the one in Payday 2 has the pistol sights for close quarters. The MP7 in Payday 3 shows with the rifle sights. So I wonder, do we get an option to able to flip different iron sights if the weapon has, sort of that available? To me, I think it would be kind of cool and unique that you can able to have different iron sights on just one weapon or more. That would be really cool. The next one right here is, well, chains is sliding. So now we have a sliding mechanic, which I feel like this game is going to be a little bit feel like Call of Duty, which I'm not complaining because I do find the Payday 2 movement speed to be quite similar to Call of Duty, just quite a bit. So able to see it slide, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure a lot of people love to slide in stealth, and this actually would be a great way to evade guards. Getting tired of the sprint, jump, crouch technique. Well, you can able to slide. So the next shot here is Hoxton, and he's holding some sort of AK rifle. Now I can't tell if this is just an AKM with with the a railed handguard attachment, or this is an AK from the 100 series. But of course we see the attachment, and as well as, well, the weapon skin. So weapon skins are returning, even though it may not be the one that would suit me, but it's still nice we see weapon skins returning. And of course, it looks like the AK also has like a scope mount attachment as well. I don't know if it's going to be built in or it's going to be separate like it was in Payday 2. But only time will tell. But yeah, that's our nice little first look of the weapon skin. So this next shot here, one that piques my interest is the green yellow cloud, which to me it's definitely tear gas. So that means we're getting a very new special unit in Payday 3, which probably gonna be some sort of grenadier, kind of like the one from how the PC community actually modded a new enemy from the the crackdown difficulty. So I presume his role is to flush the heisters out of their hidey hole, and of course their like camping spots, so they had to expose any opening and let the other cops able to open fire. So this would probably definitely annoy a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people will get around it just fine with the new enemy. So I'm happy we get new special units. I'm glad we get some new ones that really fits the theme for this game. I hope we can definitely see other newer types later down the road. Now the next shot here is, of course, a double barrel shotgun, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people got a little bit sus about it because it was able to fire free shots. Now, there's probably two possibilities to it. One is a skill. Now in Payday 2, there are two skills that basically allow you to fire weapons without reloading at all or waste any weapon in the magazine, being Bullet Storm or Swan Song. Or the other possibility, it could be the M30 Luftwaffe drilling shotgun, which is a double barrel shotgun, but with a third barrel underneath the two big barrels being hold for a rifle round. And to me, I think it's the second option, which I'll get to it later. So the next one, this screenshot is looks like a thermite. Now I'm not really sure if this is like a spot for objective or that's an actual equipment, but pretty kind of crafty makeshift design for thermite, if you think about it. But that's, I mean, it doesn't look that big, but I could definitely see it kind of obscures some of the vision, especially if you try to see the enemy through the smoke. So the next one we have is, well, two things. One, we have Dallas holding a AK, which I presume is either an AKM or an AK-74. So we got the classic AK return, and you may notice there's no weapon skin on it. So of course, that means weapon customization is definitely, or weapon skin customization is definitely will be returning. And the second thing in the screen is the cloaker now wall runs. Well, actually, they kind of did that in Payday the Heist, but that was completely absent in Payday 2. Not sure why, probably to balance out how the cloakers were. But it's nice to see them returning with all their athleticism, and hopefully they can pose much of a challenge. I also do like their design too, especially that they have like a little net covering their helmet or their face. It almost gives them that little very scary ghost vibe to it. Try to intimidate the heisters, which is I love. The next shot is, of course, the AK rifle, and this one is looks like you aim down with a sight with a scope. And I do have to say, the look of the brass casing looks beautiful, so much beautiful, so much detailed, and that just shows you the improvements from switching game engine from the diesel engine to the Unreal engine, and that looks gorgeous as fuck. And the next shot is, of course, that's, I presume the thermite has been done and creates a nice hole for you to fit. And we see that Hoxton is holding a M4A1 with a optic, which looks like the speculator sight. But for some reason, I'm getting a little vibe from this weapon and the sight, which reminds me a lot of Back for Blood, which is, interestingly, they both run the same engine as well. I just really hope that Pay Free has way better reload ammunition than Back for Blood, since they only have one weapon reload ammunition for each of their guns. Hopefully Pay 2 has a lot of different ones. So the next one is, I'm more focused on what Wolf is holding, and that looks like a revolver. I see the cylinder is open, so he may go for a reload, so I think there's probably a proper 3D reload ammunition or third person reload ammunition. So you could probably see the reload ammunition from a different point of view as opposed to see it in first person. If that's the case, that means that Overkill definitely improve a lot with their game engine. That means they have a lot more time to play around with the engine. But just the fact that I can see the cylinder actually open up in a pretty much a third person view model looks really sick. As the next shot I have is another AK rifle, which looks like the 74 because I saw the little small rod underneath the barrel, which the AKM does not have. But one thing I noticed is it has a wooden foregrip. So I think we're actually going to have actual attachments category for foregrips that you can able to just hold it. With it. So it seems that we could probably able to reduce the weapon's recoil, and maybe there's other different types of grip attachment that change certain other aspects with the weapon besides, recoil control. So it's nice we have finally have proper foregrip attachments. I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably decked out to have more controllable recoil, but we'll see how things are in 3 months later. The next shot here I have is, of course, it looks like a micro Uzi, which I'll explain why that's the case. But the one thing is the optic. I do apologize for taking a screenshot during the muzzle flash. But one thing I noticed is that the reticle is definitely a red dot, so that's our small optic. I wonder if there's actually different stat changes with the optics like they did with Payday 2 when they add other new optics later down the road. The next shot here is the taser. And our first look at the taser, and I notice, once you shoot a taser or his equipment, he also tastes not only you if you get too close, but also his companions as well. So it kind of makes it a very, really useful to deal with tasers if you just shoot their electric packet they have, which is pretty awesome. So if you need to stun multiple enemies, if you see a taser, well, just shoot the taser first. So the next shot here is, it looks like Change is actually looking down, fighting a shield. Now I noticed a bit in the trailer, which is hard to tell due to the muzzle flash and the smoke, but I think you can actually destroy the visor on the shield, and you can able to kill the shield. So you don't even need to use like a grenade launcher or some specialized rounds to deal with the shields at front, or you don't need to do the little leg trick to kill it. If you see a window, just shoot it. Kind of similar like a bulldozer when you had to deal with his visor. So I do think these shields gotta be. Of course, I'm pretty sure the armor around the shield will be still, impenetrable, but not the little window, so you can actually shoot through it. It probably depends on the caliber on the weapon you have as well. Perhaps we're gonna see some penetration in this game. That weapons deal with different penetration depends on the caliber it has. Who knows? That will be kind of interesting to see. But I just want to point out that I think you can definitely shoot the windows through shields with any weapon in the game. So next up is, two things. One, of course, Huxing is down, and we see someone actually holding the shotgun, the double barrel shotgun. And this is where I go. My second option that this could be the M30 Luftwaffe drilling. Because the character's hand, his right hand, where his thumb is, there's a switch that you can actually switch to flip up the sights from to rifle mode or shotgun mode. So to me, I think this is definitely an absolute fact that this is an M30 Luftwaffe drilling. So this is definitely a triple barrel shotgun. with, of course, two shotgun barrels on its sides and a rifle barrel just below the two. And it's, of course, and I can't ignore the down Huxton here. Don't want to go to in custody and to perform another Hudson breakout again. But he's down, and I see the ammunition he has, and he seemed to be holding, to pressure on his wounds. So I think we have the. I think the down will be a lot more different because I don't see him holding a weapon at all, and I don't see him like lying really dead, like he's being down, also waiting for a revive. I think the moment if you go down, you can't fight any. You can't fight back, and you had to wait for someone to revive you. But I wonder if you can move around when you're down. Find some good cover, and then you can just hold to stop and slow down the blood loss. So I think that's a thing, kind of similar to Rainbow Six Siege. So that would be interesting as fuck to see how this turns out. The next genre we have is, of course, our first look of the medic bag or doctor bag. And it seemed they're doing the whole COD style too when you equipped it out, just like you do in Modern Warfare 2019 when you have the ammo crate. You open up the CD ammo and you just throw it down. This is what Dallas or somebody did with the doctor bag. And I see the inside, there's little small packs of. So it seemed to be there's 6 charges. Of course, we can't see the 6th one because it's off screen. But that's to me, I think we have 6 charges in one bag. So that's interesting because in Payday the highest, when you have a fully upgraded Doctor Bag, it's 5 charges. In Payday 2's case, for a fully upgraded Doctor Bag with just one bag, is 4 charges. And now in Payday 3, it's now 6 charges. I wonder why they bumped that up. I really hope the difficulty is a lot more harder than Payday 2. And then we see another glimpse look of, well, how the placement of your equipment will do. So you can actually throw it anywhere, so you don't have to place it close range. So you can actually just throw it at a good range or any length of it, which looks it's an interesting choice. I'm pretty sure there's a separate button for it, so instead of like holding down the press to deploy it, I guess you had to equip it out and you had to press the the fire button to deploy it. Pretty interesting choice. We'll see how that turns out. The next shot here is Wolf actually mantling over a wall. Now, I can't tell if this is like an AI thing or a player thing, but if it's a player thing and you mantle over stuff, this is gonna be so much fun to do parkour, just like Black Ops Cold War, where I have so much fun with that game thanks to its mental mechanic. I love that shit, and seeing this here again in Payday 3, oh my god, it's make me just excited for the movement speed in this game. I really hope it's like Payday 2, but it's just enhanced a bit more. So the next one we have is some sort of optic with some sort of thermal sight. I can't speak. Thermal sight, and some sort of like a little scanner device with it. You can definitely see a line in the scope, which basically kind of sweeps from the right to the left, and you can definitely see the hitbox or the outlines of the cops through the scope. So kind of makes you wonder, can you able to see them through walls once you aim in that general direction? This looks pretty insane, and I'm pretty sure this will be a very handy and a useful attachment to counteract with smoke. So the next picture here we have is, of course, the micro Uzi, or it looks like an SMG-11 from Rainbow Six Siege, especially when you have that charging handle on the left. But to me, it definitely looks like a bit of the micro Uzi because I can recognize its design, the material, and just the pattern. Or it could be that a mini Uzi, but I do think it's like some sort of micro Uzi, like a hybrid of some kind between the Max series and the Uzi series. It looks like a mix between the both, actually. As I think about it, it looks like a hybrid between both. Like you got the lower receiver of the Max series and the upper receivers from the Uzi series. I want to see how that will turn out. So the next shot here is well, again, we have the MP7, but I noticed the stock is a lot more different compared to the stock we saw during the character being flashed in front of the shield. So I guess we get more customization for more weapons now, which is actually awesome because most weapons in Payday 2 don't have much customization option because they're very limited to what they have. And of course we had the tear gas again, so that really shows that, well, we're going to be dealing with a lot more tear gas compared to Payday 2. And then the next shot here we have is on our phone, and this time there's like a timer for it. Now, I'm not really sure what this really mean here. And I also had to point out the fact that this area here looks so large. It looks like a large playable area. But damn, that is just so huge. Reminds me a bit of like Heat Street or Transport Park, with also a mix of the rooftops from Panic Room. Really insane of the level environment is. But as for the phone, I have really no clue what this could mean. Maybe if there's other electronics you can disable besides cameras. It would be pretty interesting what you can do. The next one here is Huxton holding the MGL, or of course in Payday 2's name will be the Piglet. So interesting, this weapon is returned. And I'm pretty sure there's probably got to be a few people going to be rocking the grenade launcher because, well, people always going to rock a special weapon. And of course, you're going to be able to put optics, so the customization is probably similar like the one in Payday 2. And then we finally got a good first look of the new design for the bulldozer. And I have to say, he definitely doesn't even look as intimidating as the dozers from Payday Heist and Payday 2. But at the same time, I'm glad he actually blends with his other comrades wearing the same SWAT outfit. After all, it does kind of give you the whole, keep an eye out or know your enemy vibe to it, because if you don't know who the bulldozer is, you're basically screwed if you get too close to him. And I notice, well, a lot of people are probably freaking out of the large fucking drum mag on this shotgun is. A lot of people think this is full auto. I could definitely tell you, this is a Origin 12 shotgun, which looks like to me it's a 30 round drum Origin 12, that's actually true in real life. There actually exists a 30 round drum mag for this shotgun, and it's not fully automatic. It's semi-automatic only. But of course, the fact is that this thing has a 30 round drum and wielded by a bulldozer is scary enough. Way more scary compared to a black bulldozer. And I also noticed that he has a flashlight gadget, so I presume gadget attachments are returning as well. And also pretty interesting that we don't even get to see his face behind his visor. So I'm pretty sure you can still shatter it, but the fact that we can't even see his face really kind of gives it like trying to be more intimidating on a different level. But boy, I can't wait to fight these dozers. And then finally we have the last screenshot here, and we see a bulldozer charging at chains. And boy, that is insane. Like, it's probably scary enough. Like, you think a charging cloaker was scary, why not a charging bulldozer at it? And I presume when you, if a charging dozer makes contact with you, it'll probably just knock you off your feet, not downing you, but just make you invulnerable for a couple seconds. So it really shows that you don't want to be close to that dozer. And of course, another few things around the shot as well. Of course, we got the presence of the sniper with the, well, the little red laser, and Chains is holding looks like either a Scar L or a Scar H, or of course in Payday 2's name, the Eagle Heavy. But I noticed one thing with Chains here. He's holding the Scar with a C-clamp style, where he has his thumb on top of the weapon, and the purpose of that type of holding is when you fire the weapon, which usually the recoil actually goes up in the vertical. If you have his thumb down, he could try to counteract with the recoil and try to be centered a little bit much. It's a military tactic which makes sense for Chains because he has military experience and of course well known of firearms. Now I don't know if it's going to share the exact same, for every heister, or is it going to be just exclusive to Chains? I mean, only one way to find out once the game release. But yeah, that's gonna be it. My large analyzing of everything. I do apologize for taking it so long, but there's just so much stuff to go through. And if you really like me going through all these extra details, and if you don't mind a long video, well, I'll still continue to do more something like this in the future. And well, that's going to be it for now, guys. I hope you actually enjoyed this long video. I hope you find this to be very interesting and very helpful and useful. And, well, thank you for watching, everyone. And until next time, farewell, and have a wonderful day, everyone.